want to say greetings, good evening, how you doing on this third day of December? Welcome into Beyond Ringside Live, multiple location station in the ever-evolving Studio One. I am Fast Eddie Layne, being joined by tag team partner, the one and only MaBo Bowman. What's up, brother MaBo?
I'm only slightly better than I was last week. Dude, I'm telling you, 14 guinea pigs, trying to get them feeding situated, takes at least 45 minutes to an hour tops.
I thought it was 11.
Nah, brother. Picked up 3 more.
Dude, you are a guinea pig hoarder.
No, 2 of them actually before even number 11 showed up. I had promised to take these. They're 2 little boys. They're 5 months old, 6 months old. The day they were born, I promised to take them on because the owner knew they weren't going to be able to keep them with the mom and the sister. And then number 11 was just supposed to be, a foster. And her little fuzzy butt, she's in the room with me right now. Her little fuzzy butt warmed her way into my heart. Plus, I didn't trust the lady. And then number 12 came from a close family member, and, you can't say no to family.
Okay.
So, and I've got somebody trying to throw 2 more on me, and I'm like, no.
No. Just say no.
I was like, when I took your 2 in, that was it. So I'm just gonna open up a guinea pig ranch and put little saddles on them.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea.
Yeah. But in non-guinea pig related news, hey, there's this thing called pro wrestling we do from time to time we like to cover.
Yeah, sure.
Why not?
It's all in your imagination.
You know what? I've started listening to a couple more podcasts that I even forget we do a show sometimes because I'm too busy laughing at their stuff.
There you go.
And I'm afraid to do our show because I don't want to steal anything on accident.
Well, I'll tell you what, coming up in just a few minutes, going to be joined by Buck Gunderson, a very well-known, internationally traveled professional wrestling star. And a little bit later on the broadcast.
Lovingly in excellent professional wrestling, lovingly nicknamed the, oh, crap. The Nickelback of professional wrestling.
Well, okay, this is where I may have to take his side on this, because considering the fact that Nickelback, whether you like them, love them, or hate them, they've had multiple platinum albums, they've had top 10 singles, they've had top 5 videos, they've sold out concert events across the country and around the world. I can think of a lot worse things to be called.
Hey, I'm just saying that's what he has been termed in some circles, but he is definitely a heck of a talent. I can't wait for our listeners to meet him because I'm gonna say this, and sometimes when this term is used, sometimes it has negative connotations. Sometimes it has positive, but I would definitely say right now that on the independent wrestling scene, Buck Gunderson is one of the best kept secrets.
And also a little bit later on in the show, going to be joined by a professional wrestling star, MC Hardbody, I do believe, right?
Yes. Both of them this coming Saturday will be at Excellent Professional Wrestling's event termed 6 o'clock. Buck is going to be in a fatal 4-way, and MC Hardbody is one of the 4 participants in the title tournament for the Excellent Professional Wrestling Heavyweight title.
And by the way, would like to say a very special hello to the front office of Excellence Professional Wrestling, to which I will just simply go, meow, man. You forget, the front office is a cat. Meow, man. It's that easy. You were about to say?
I was just wondering if you could hear that eye roll.
Yes.
Because I think I sprained my right eye.
That's not that hard to do. You don't get much exercise anymore.
I don't what?
You don't get much exercise anymore.
I never got exercise to begin with.
There you go.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'll just say, since we've been gone, we've had some. Sorry, somebody pinged in my ear. We've had some comings and goings in the WWE.
One of the most notable, which has been just like, what the? And then reading some of the past track record over the last year or so, you can almost see, you could virtually see the writing on the wall to a degree, but not really. Jim Johnston, legendary producer, music writer, and just you realize that when he is let go, of course, it was the end of his contract, and I don't know what his rate to stay would have been. And you have to remember, WWE's been using a lot more commercial music.
Yes, very true.
And so it's kind of like, do you really need to have a staff writer that handles music when you're paying how many thousands of dollars a year for commercial licenses? Now, some of the songs that they picked, and this is something that I've really appreciated about WWE over the last 5 years, is the fact that they actually will take a risk on lesser-known artists and try to get them that spotlight. But that spotlight has shrunk over the last few years because if you notice the pay-per-view viewership, the people who've been buying the network and the people who actually watch it on Monday and Tuesday nights, it's going to lead me to a weird question in a minute. And I just want to go and sit back and say, of course, in my book, Johnston, man who wrote so many legendary theme songs for WWE superstars, including The Undertaker, run down the who's who of professional wrestling, and he's pretty much done their entrance themes, right, MaBo?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, growing up a cough button wrestling fan, that, when I say this man wrote the soundtrack to my childhood and up till now, pretty much most of my life, he literally has. I don't know how many times I've broken into, Sexy Boy or I'm an Ass Man or let's see, who else? Just Bailey's theme song. Love, that's one of my favorite songs of in recent memories, Bailey's theme song. Even the ones without, lyrics, when it's just instrumentals. That's Jim Johnston, man. And that's one of those where I would akin it almost to, and he's still technically around. I don't know quite what his contract is, but that's going to be like the day they let Howard Finkel go. Because you got to think about that. Jim Johnston and Howard Finkel, probably two of the longest employed people by WWE. Short of Vince himself.
Yeah, him, Finkel, Pat Patterson, Jerry Briscoe.
Patterson was let go at one point because of some charges and stuff in the mid '80s.
Yeah,
mid to late '80s.
Yeah, we'll go there. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
There you go.
But yeah, so when that news dropped, I think everybody, I think 99% of the wrestling audience who knew who he was just like, oh,
yeah. Or pull the old Tim Allen.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
But on the flip ski to that, looks like the women's division on both Raw and SmackDown has gotten a little deeper with the return of Paige and then Mandy Rose and
Liv,
lesbian MMA. I don't know what her name is.
Oh wow, that was.
She's gay. She's openly admitted that she's gay. I can't. Sonya Deville.
Thank you.
Sonya Deville. And if I offended anybody with that comment,
so what?
Piss off. Yeah, I don't care. Just look, guys, I almost died last weekend. Okay, I don't care. All right, I've got a devil may care attitude now. And then on the SmackDown side, one of my favorites, Ruby Riott and her Riott Squad with Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan.
Right.
I hate, when I look at that group, though, I do kind of look at it and go, one of these things is not like the others. But,
yeah, notice they just had to put a blonde in both groups.
Yeah, it's. I posted a meme that was that, SmackDown was like hey, Raw, can I copy your homework? Yeah, just don't make it too obvious.
No, they did.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think it's great because it frees up space down at NXT for a lot more women to shine. Abby Lace, the former Princess Kimberly, maybe now she will get a chance. Kairi Sane, of course, you got the new women's champion, Ember Moon.
Right.
Peyton Royce, Billie Kay. I could definitely see those two will be taking over the main heels in the women's division down there. And then it also helps to, and I hate to say this, but maybe a couple of the women on the main rosters in both respective divisions, maybe it'll be time for a few of them to seek employment elsewhere, maybe?
Wow, you went there.
I mean, look, I'm going to say it. There's a couple that I'm just not a fan of. I have nothing against Alicia Fox. It's just I don't think – I mean, she's been there for, 10 years now almost?
Yeah.
She doesn't really bring anything anymore. Her crazy thing's funny, but, hey, Paige can be crazy. Lord knows Paige is crazy.
I think she brought quite a bit when it came time for Survivor Series. I thought Alicia Fox actually played the role perfectly.
Well, like I said, I mean, I think it's time for her to go. There's a couple others. I mean, maybe this will start to help the others step up their game, and who knows? Maybe we will get women's tag titles.
Yeah, don't know if WWE is going to go for that. If anything, they should have done that down at NXT.
It's always, I'm surprised maybe the next tournament they tout, we might get a women's tag tournament,
Well, I think WWE's in a very precarious spot right now because, remember, they are doing budget cuts and they're trying to save money where they can. And now with the advent of 3 new talents for both Raw and SmackDown respectively, that's going to kick it.
Technically, Paige was already on the payroll, so.
Yeah, but still, you know what I mean. Getting new talents up to the main roster, and if you're not letting anybody go at this particular point, that's putting a drain on an already strained checkbook. And
maybe that's why they let Jim Johnston go.
Yeah, I think his check was probably ranking at least 6 figures.
Oh, I guarantee you, he could probably he's probably pulling in at least a Ruby Riott, a Sarah Logan, and a Sonya Deville.
To say the least.
And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call it spade a spade. I think the only reason why Mandy Rose was pulled up was because she has been kind of off and on Total Divas. So.
Well, you're the only one of us that watches that show.
No, actually, I don't. I just know that the last season I watched, they said the following season she would be on there. And then I think I got ready to watch the first episode of that season. And then I don't know, got chronic diarrhea, and that was more fun. I don't know.
Speaking of the women, WWE did tease a confrontation between the two quote-unquote 4 horsewomen groups, and there has been talk about having a match somewhere down the road, possibly at 34, between Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, and Bayley versus Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, Jessamyn Duke, and Marina Shafir. Personally, I'm in favor of it. All over the idea, because anything that they can do to draw positive eyes. That would be MaBo calling back in. He lost the call. I'm personally in favor of it because anything that can get positive eyes on the WWE product and possibly even translate not only into ticket sales or merchandise sales, but also numbers on the WWE network, I think that would be a good thing. And, with everything happening right now on the 2 main rosters, and of course down at NXT with them trying to rebuild after letting some stars they're trying still to put everything back in place. Now with Cien Almas, don't know if that was actually supposed to be a title run or if it was due to the fact of everything being switched around because Galloway supposedly allegedly has an injury. But, there's... You breaking up again.
Are you there?
Yep.
See, I'd heard that he had hurt his arm in the match.
Right.
So, I think they were getting ready to call him up anyway, and that's why I put the belt on him because, you know, seeing, and then he's running definitely hot with whatever Rosita's name is now. What is it, Lou Bega, Mambo number 5? What is it?
Yeah.
Vegas the Bega. I just call her sexy pants.
Okay.
She's hot.
Understatement.
Oh, definitely.
But see, this is the part that worries me, because when you've had so many call-ups from NXT already and you're already planning to bring more up to the main roster, the talent roster on the main roster is going to be diluted to a huge degree, and for the people not getting any television time right now to begin with, they're going to get even, the possibility of them getting on is even lower. And yet you end up with NXT being somewhat ravaged to a huge margin, because you're trying to continue on storylines, and it's like, no, we're going to bring this person up. Now, granted, you normally bring people up at the end of a story arc, or at least you try to put it to where it's at the end of a story arc. But you have to be able to cultivate the talent, and this is where the main roster had the problem a couple of years ago about not cultivating top-tier talent. Now NXT is in a position to where they're having to constantly regroup and reset, which for a show that has had the cult following and mainstream following that NXT has developed, this couldn't come at a worse time because of the road shows that they're doing. They don't need to lose a number of people to Raw and SmackDown call-ups. But that's just my perspective on it. Mark?
Well, I know that NXT will be here in about a week or two. So, anybody have any spare tickets? Want to take me and Eddie as an early Christmas present? I don't think.
Did I lose you again? Tell you what, we are close enough to the top of the hour, and I know we started this segment a little bit late, so tell you what, we are going to go ahead and take that top of the hour break. When Beyond Ringside rolls on, slated to be joined by pro wrestling star Buck Gunderson. Hang with us. Hang on. Now he's back, and I'll say this part. Beyond Ringside Live continues in just a moment. You're listening to Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
This is Jim Cornette. You are locked into the show of all time, Beyond Ringside.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
This is Dr. Tom Pritchard, and if you want to listen to the best in professional wrestling, get locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Howdy, friends. It's the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Layne with your invitation to join me, Mark MaBo Bowman, and Brooks Logan Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Find us on BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, and the Beyond Ringside Radio app for Amazon, Android, BlackBerry, and a whole lot more. Once again, that's Sundays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
Hello, everybody out there. This is Universal Soldier Phil Shatter, also TNA Gunner. 2 years in the making as NWA National Heavyweight Champion, making my way to the top as #1 in the world. And you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
The To Be Determined Show, live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on this very radio station, Beyond Ringside Radio Network, BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, as well as the Beyond Ringside Radio app. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect, the Wicked Nemesis, and my producer extraordinaire, Fast Eddie Layne,
That'd be me over here.
My co-host, Joshua O'Hagan.
Kitty got claws. Meow.
My much better half, Angie Nemesis.
Come join the madness.
This is not safe for work. This is your warning, parental advisory. If you have any kind of heart defects, make sure you listen because they will take effect when we go live. I promise you that. For everything outside of wrestling and a little bit of wrestling and hardcore to the bone, we are the To Be Determined Show.
The board is war, and you are locked into Beyond Ringside.
If you really want to get raw on Monday nights, tune into the Beyond Ringside Radio Network at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 Central Time for the Midnight Black Mass Podcast. Myself, the Reverend Dan the Dragon Wilson, along with the Strong Style Psycho Tank and Andrew Alexander, bring you a truly blood-curdling experience. Uncensored, uncut, and only on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
This is Evan Ginsberg, associate producer of the movie The Wrestler, host of Legends Radio and Legends TV, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
On this third day of December, welcome back into Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net. Thank you again for everybody who has been checking out the Beyond Ringside Radio app for Amazon, Android, and BlackBerry-based products. For all of our friends and family who are cursed like I am to be stuck on Apple, definitely check out ProWrestlingRadio.net, the website itself, because the player that is over there is HTML5 based. It is Apple compatible, whether you check it out through iPhone, iMac, tablet, or iPad, iPod. There was something I was going to say right there, and I'm not going to do it. I'm class decorum, beautiful idea, and I'm not always full of either, although I'm full of something. Fast Eddie Layne on this side of the control panel, welcoming back in the incomparable Mark MaBo Bowman.
Let's see how long my signal lasts this time.
We're going to get you a cellular twister board. So how about you just get me an internet provider that doesn't work for 5 days, just 5 days a week. Why don't I just get in touch?
8 hours a day.
Why don't I just get in touch with the company and have them put a tower in your backyard and let you have a bed on top of it?
Well, I don't know, on top of it, maybe underneath it. I don't want to get any kind of weird brain radiation.
Yeah, you just get birds poop on you. We'll talk later. Ladies and gentlemen, like to welcome in very special guest at this time, internationally known professional wrestling superstar Buck Gunderson. Buck, welcome into Beyond Ringside.
Thank you for having me, Mark. Thank you for having me, Eddie. A pleasure.
Before we kick off, there's a lot of ground that we really want to cover, including one of my favorite topics right now as it pertains to something that you've been referred to as, in the world of pro wrestling, just like in any other sport or any industry, there's always the moment. Well, for most of us in pro wrestling, there are two of them. The moment we become a fan, and the moment that the little bell goes off, the bulb lights up, and the angels sing, and I've got to get in this. For Buck Gunderson, what are those two moments?
The moment I became a fan was when, what year were we talking? Probably 94, 95. That's when I really became, I guess, to use the word religious about pro wrestling. And it was when Bob Backlund was putting on the crossface chicken wing on anyone and everyone. Mm-hmm. I just happened to be flipping the channel, and I came upon that, and I was hooked. I saw him put on the chicken wing. I think it was a cameraman or an announcer or perhaps his former manager, and that was it for me. And I had to watch as much of it to see a moment like that happen again. And you'll have to remind me of the other moment. The other moment was when
you realized, I got to do this.
I realized I got to do this. I always felt that way from the moment I ever first saw pro wrestling. I didn't get hooked at that moment, but I remember seeing it on the TV. It was the intro to Superstars. It was this outer space sort of intro with the screens flashing with some of the moments of Superstars past, and I must have been maybe 2 years old. And I asked my dad, "What is this?" I had never seen it before, and he wasn't a fan, so we would have never watched it. He doesn't like wrestling. And he said, "Oh, that's wrestling. Oh, so those people wrestle? Yeah. So that's their job? Yeah. So how come you don't wrestle?" So that was what I asked him. That's how the conversation went. And from that moment, it was always in my mind to some degree. And then from getting into it religiously, from watching when Bob Backlund was terrorizing the WWF, and just snowballed from there.
Mark Bowman, come on board.
Now, Mr. Gunderson, for those who don't know, you are from the beautiful and great country of Canada.
That's right.
And you don't really seem to care for those in the United States and their ways. And you've actually spoke of several times at Excellence about erecting your own wall. Where exactly did your distaste for the United States come from?
Obviously, without American media, I wouldn't have had access to WWF programming in the 90s or WWE programming today. But things have taken a turn, especially since January of this year. Since January of this year, Canada has been inundated beyond the media, which is we're becoming more and more inundated with Americans in Canada. And ever since January, that's been the case, and I've decided I'm going to put an end to it. I'm going to subject myself to America and Americans to put an end to it in Canada, and that involves building up the wall.
Do me a favor. I am in full support of the wall. However, somewhere close, I would like for you to put a tap with a keg on the other side with real beer, as in real Canadian beer. Because, look, Bud, Coors, love them to death. But we all know some of the better beer in this world does come from Canada. So you can't take that.
Absolutely.
You can't
I'm
take
sure
that.
Something can be arranged.
Cool. Very nice. Now, MaBo, continue. I know you had a follow-up.
I'm just shaking my head.
Hey, it's me you're talking about. Molson, yes. Killian's Red, yes. And I'll occasionally subject myself to that other really foreign beer called Heineken. Ugh. That's my wake-up beer. But no.
Absolutely.
Now, to which I'll also follow up with this. Sorry, MaBo. There was a controversy at one particular point in time about hockey. I know that's probably a sore subject with you right now.
Hockey. Do you know what Canada's national sport is?
I thought it was moose hunting.
No, I know it.
What's that?
It's lacrosse.
It's lacrosse. Canada's national sport is lacrosse. Everyone thinks hockey. Buck Gunderson is going to talk about hockey. Buck Gunderson, he's going to come out with a Canadian flag, and he's going to say A, but Americans say A more than I do. And Americans talk to me more about hockey than any Canadian I know. And that's another reason I want the wall to go up, with all due respect.
Well, now you speak on respect, and it seems like some of the promotions that you work for on occasion here in the United States, sometimes they don't quite give you the respect you deserve. In particular, the company that I first became aware of you and actually had the pleasure of meeting you at, and that would be Excellence Professional Wrestling in Pennsylvania. They
absolutely,
the fans
absolutely,
don't
and
seem to respect you.
I've taken seminars in the United States. They say, oh, you're Canadian. So, hey, why don't you play that up? Why don't you come up with a hockey stick? Why don't you come up with some maple syrup for your entrance? Maybe a Canada flag cape? Maybe a toque? No. Does Nickelback wave around Canadian flags? Do they wear red and white exclusively? Do they say A whenever they can? Are they drinking maple syrup on their album covers? No. I play by my rules, and I am the Nickelback of professional wrestling. And I'm going to take that excellence title, even if it isn't at this next upcoming event. I'm going to take that money. I'm going to take whatever gift certificates I can in that ridiculous match, and it's all going to go towards a Canadian-funded wall.
Now, the event you speak of is, I believe, 6 o'clock, coming up this December 9th.
Absolutely, 6 o'clock in Sellersville, Pennsylvania.
Yes, in Sellersville. Now, you, I honestly, and this is just, we appreciate having you as a guest, but I do believe that you were robbed for not being in the tournament, and someone who, we will have on later, I'm sure you've crossed paths many times, MC Hardbody, he is in the tournament, and I think that's a great injustice. And it seems you have been relegated to a fatal four-way with, some would say, joke prizes and awards for someone of your caliber. I mean, what exactly is that about?
It's a joke. It absolutely is. They said that there was going to be major stipulations for this four-way. I've been in excellence since June of 2017. Hardbody, he shows up at Fandemonium. I thought he was a paying fan at first to take part in that seminar where fans were allowed. But next thing you know, he's on the show. Next thing you know, he's in the main event. Next thing you know, he's in the tournament. It's ridiculous. But it's fine. It's fine because Buck Gunderson, I'm used to getting the short end of the stick. I'm used to having to fight, and it tastes so much sweeter when it comes in the end. When I have to work for it and I have to shove it down people's throats. And that's exactly what I'm going to do with that Acme gift certificate. And that's exactly what I'm going to do with Mike Quackenbush's book if I don't rip it up first out of spite, which is another prize for the four-way if you didn't know.
Well, now it's not just excellence that you seem to have issues with. I know through research and through speaking with you, Lucha T.O.,
Lucha T.O., they were called Lucha in the Six. Now they're Lucha on Demand, Demand Lucha. They merged with Hogtown Wrestling. All these companies, they like to change their branding. Before that, it was Victory Commonwealth Wrestling. And it was known as the company that their catchphrase was, "This is your granddaddy's wrestling." And that's what Buck Gunderson is all about. But it isn't that anymore. They've merged with this Lucha company. They've got a site they stream now. They've got all the Hogtown content. They've got all the VCW content on there. But they're sticking me in there, not with wrestlers anymore. They're flying in luchadors. They're flying in Serpentico. They're flying in Ophidian. They're bringing in all these guys. Even I think they had Blue Demon in there. But I'm a wrestler. It's a wrestling title. And our title, it looks like a wrestling title. It's gold with black leather, and it has roots in the Commonwealth Openweight division of Victory Commonwealth Wrestling. And now I feel like a joke there as well. But I'll beat whoever I have to prove what I prove every time I step in that ring.
Eddie?
Actually, I want to take a look at another promotion as well. I do. It's one of the places that you also call home, and that's Battle Arts, right?
Absolutely, Battle Arts. Battle Arts recently expanded their light heavyweight division, where I'm the current title holder to 205. It used to be 190, but I guess 205 is trendy. So now I have to fight wrestlers that should be heavyweights, but it doesn't matter. I was the first champion, and I'm the current champion. Everyone keeps trying to do this to me. They keep trying to screw me. They keep trying to stack the deck, but I'm going to keep coming, and I'm in for the long haul.
Now, in all seriousness, I do want to ask this question. You've had the opportunity to work in front of the American audience in a number of different cities. You've worked in front of Canadian audiences in a number of different cities. The fan bases between the two. This is a legit question from me to you. What seems to be the one thing that you've seen that will grab the attention of Canadian fans as it pertains to it wouldn't per se American fans? Depending on the area, let's put it that way.
I find that every city has more of a personality than I would say from
a nationality,
country to country.
Okay.
Yeah. There's certain cities I wrestle in Canada that are comparable. The fan base and how they react to what's going on in the ring is more comparable to, say, Sellersville,
right,
than a town 30 minutes away might react to the same matches or card.
Yeah, because I mean, you've done everything from Kagawa, Japan, all the way to Ontario, Canada, all the way down to, I believe, Orlando, Florida, right?
That's right. That's right.
Now, so far, what has been your favorite city to go to, regardless of what country it's in?
Japan was a unique experience, just because I wasn't there for the longest period of time, but it was just experiencing the different culture and the different wrestling that I had only seen originally on videotape. So that'll always have a certain place in my memories. There's Oshawa, Ontario, which is where Michael Elgin is originally out of, and I've been wrestling there for coming up on 9 years. And that was one of the places that gave me my first chance, in one of the buildings there. There's still a promotion that runs out of that original building where he had some of his most famous matches as he was coming up through the ranks of Ontario indie wrestling. And Battle Arts is currently my home promotion, whether I like it or not. That I've spent a lot of time there. I spend almost every day there training, whether it's in judo, whether it's in catch wrestling, professional wrestling, or weights. So it's a place that's very close to me.
MaBo?
Now, some would say that you're not a true Canadian wrestler until you've done the Tony Candello death tours. Have you participated in any of those?
Well, there are several other brands or companies that do similar tours. And although I haven't been with Tony Condello, I've been on a similar tour with Chris Thorne's company. I believe it's CWF, or CWA, one or the other. And they do a very similar tour, just a different route, different cities, different native reserves, but they do still travel on the winter roads into towns that are only accessible in the dead of winter with the frozen lakes.
Yes, for those who don't know what the Canadian death tours are, it's where, like Buck said, they're only accessible during the winter months because you're essentially driving on frozen lakes. And you can cite examples in Edge's book. You can cite examples from just about anyone who's who in Canadian professional wrestling. That those death tours, they're no joke. You get to some of these reserves and towns, and you might be sleeping in a gym on a tumbling mat with a lantern. So it definitely takes a tough individual and a dedicated individual to do the death tours in any part of Canada. And
absolutely, and anyone I've known who has gone on one of these tours, they have a near-death story to tell, and I think that's part of the reason why they're called the death tour.
Eddie?
I normally reserve this question for when we do long-form interviews. And, having had the road trips that you've had, and air trips, of course, because you can't really drive to Canada. I mean, you can't really drive to Japan. I'm sorry. You can drive to Canada. Thank you for playing. But we learn lessons all the way through everything we do, whether it be in grammar, middle, high school, college, whether it be in trade school, whether it be through traditional jobs, whether it be in sports, all the way across the board, individual sports and team sports. Now, to this point in time in your career, Buck Gunderson, what has professional wrestling taught you most about yourself?
I think it's taught me what I'm capable of achieving. the amount of effort I've put into pro wrestling and the amount I've gotten out of it, if I was to put that into anything else, in an aspect of my life outside of pro wrestling, the achievement I would have gotten out of that and what I would have gotten out of my investment of time and energy would have been much greater than what I've received from pro wrestling. So it's taught me to push myself in ways I wouldn't have even imagined before, and in jobs outside of pro wrestling. If I push myself even to half the amount I have in doing pro wrestling, it's beyond what any other person in that field might be striving for.
Let's take a look at the match next Saturday night, December the 9th, Sellersville, Pennsylvania, under the banner of Excellence Professional Wrestling. The show will be 6 p.m. or hashtag 6 o'clock p.m. Take your pick on exactly what you want to call it and how you call it. It's going to be at the Forest Lodge VFW 2118 Old Bethlehem Pike in Sellersville. Front row seating, I believe, is sold out. General admission seating is $15 a piece. And our guest at this time is in the middle of a fatal four-way with some very unique prizes on the line as he faces off against Logan Black, Dylan Black, and I hope I pronounce it correctly, Bradford Montague. Now, Buck, if I may, or Mr. Gunderson, take your pick. I apologize for being so forward. Your best scouting report on your opponents in this match.
Okay. Well, let's start with Logan Black. Logan Black. All I know about Logan Black is that he's been in Excellence before, and he hasn't been there in a long time. That's pretty much all I know about him. I'll have to do some research in the next week. The others I do know a little bit about, so we'll move on here to Dylan Black, coincidentally enough. He's been in Excellence since the Fandemonium event where he took part in the seminar, and they deemed that he was good enough to have a position in the Excellence roster, and he has been making a name for himself in Excellence. He has trained with Damian Adams. That's where he fights out of Damian Adams' school. I've trained with Damian Adams and Diona Perazzo myself as well. When I was first starting to branch out into the United States, Damian is a student of Rip Rogers, and I've trained in OBW as well. So I'm very familiar with the styles that Dylan brings to the ring. Then there's Bradford Montague, who actually fights out of Battle Arts as well. And I actually lift weights with Bradford's regularly. We are weightlifting partners often, working out till the wee hours of the night when no one else is in Battle Arts. So I know him quite well. He's doesn't have quite as much experience as I do, but he is probably the most powerful man in the match. And with these new submission skills, since he's joined up at Battle Arts, he should be quite dangerous in the match. I know how dangerous he can be, and definitely the most powerful as well. So I will not be underestimating him, even though there is some friendship there.
MaBo?
Now, like I said, as soon as we finish with you and this so far, thank you so much for your time. We definitely want you back for a longer form interview. But a fellow Battle Arts performer and someone who is in the tournament for the heavyweight title, MC Hardbody specifically, for Buck Gunderson, what does he have to say for the MC Hardbody and the other three participants in the title tournament, whoever comes out on top?
Even though MC Hardbody is the one who should be eating, he's the smallest man in the tournament. He's the smallest man in Excellence. He's the smallest man, and I use that term man loosely at this stage, as he's only, is he even 18 years old? Is he even 16 years old? Is he even out of high school? I'm not sure. But if he wins that tournament and he wins that title, I will eat every single one of those prizes they've announced. I'll eat the book. I'll eat the gift certificate. I'll eat whatever else they announce. If they announce anything else, I'll eat the ticket, the plane ticket to Russia. I'll eat it all if he wins. That's all I've got to say about that.
Wow, some strong words. Eddie?
Well, I hate to do it, but I'm right up against a hard break. But first, before we let you run for the night, I want to go ahead and ask you to put it out there. How can people track social media? Can they follow you on social media and other upcoming appearances you might want to throw out there?
Absolutely. Social media is pretty simple. On Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, it's @/Buck Wrestles, all one word. Or if you search Buck Gunderson, you will find me on those three mediums. Once again, Buck Wrestles, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. As well, coming up on the 16th of December, it will be a Battle Arts event out of Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, right out of the Don Kolov Arena. And the 17th in Kingston, Ontario. And I think I might check out Capital Wrestling on the 29th in the state of New Jersey. I'm not sure what city Capital Wrestling will be putting their event out of, but I will be checking that one out.
Would love to have you come back on somewhere down the road for more long-form interview. You think you might be up for it?
Absolutely. We'll be in touch. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of our new best friends, professional wrestling star Buck Gunderson, has just gone beyond ringside. Hang tight. This Sunday night party continues right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans from around the world, I'm Lightning Mike Quackenbush, the master of 1,000 holds, and you're locked in for Beyond Ringside.
It's me. It's that D to the O to the double G, always sitting next year, near doggy style, the road dog Jesse James, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside. Get it? Got it? Good.
It was a beautiful third day of December. Holiday season? Never heard of it. Radio season? Always in. Welcome back into Beyond Ringside Live on this Sunday night edition. Yours truly, the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Layne, being rejoined by tag team partner, the incomparable Mark MaBo Bowman. What's up, MaBo?
No, the Canadian edition of Beyond Ringside.
The what?
The Canadian edition.
That's where we are this whole show, right?
I'm with it, man. Hey, they got Tim Hortons, man. They got some T-Hos. I'm all about that, buddy.
No, they got good hockey.
And any country that could,
country
that could come up with the option of the creation of poutine, which on paper sounds gross, but on plate is delicious. They're all right with me, man.
Then I'll go you one step worse, because we're better in my case. Any country that can really accentuate good beer, hockey, and lacrosse, I'm down with. Plain and simple. Call it a tourist destination. Call it a bucket list item. And ladies and gentlemen, helping to accentuate that bucket list item, like to welcome in one of our new best friends, professional wrestling star MC Hardbody. How you doing tonight, MC?
How's it going? Thank you for having me.
You know, before we get into everything that is going on, and for the ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to go ahead and say that MC Hardbody's appearance this evening, of course, in part courtesy of Excellence Professional Wrestling, live event 6 o'clock p.m. next Saturday, December the 9th. The trademark question that we have adopted and built here on Beyond Ringside Live, it's all about the moment. And regardless of it's wrestling or any other sport or in business, there's always a moment. In life, there's moments. But for those of us in pro wrestling, there's always two. The moment we become a fan of it and the moment we realize we got to do it. For MC Hardbody, what are those two moments?
Man, oh man, yes. You always look at it from as watching as a fan as when you're younger and you're watching your favorite guys like Hulk Hogan smash guys up and be the best, or Shawn Michaels captivate you and bring you into it. And then it hits a certain point where you kind of start looking at it more of an art perspective and as an art form, and you start looking at it different if it's either maybe pieces that you want to incorporate from your style or things that just give you the motivation to go to the gym or to train or to go to that far town that you got to go to do what you do. But I mean, I remember the first time I'd seen it was Edge and Vicky Guerrero were doing the wedding angle on SmackDown. Because keep in mind, I'm only 18, right? So this was probably 2008, and I was probably in grade maybe 3 or 2 at the time. And seeing that was just seemed so weird, seemed so far-fetched, seemed so cartoonish, and it captivated me. And moving down to the point where I decided where I wanted to wrestle, I'm not sure if I could put a finger on it. You know what I mean? I know it was just kind of something that eventually it consumed so much of my life where I knew it was like, you know what, I just want to dive in head first on this.
First day of real training, butterflies, hummingbirds, condor, or pterodactyl? What was flying around in your stomach?
So the whole barnyard was flying around in my stomach. I was nervous as hell for sure. The only, I mean, even walking in there so young, I think I was 14 or something the first day, and going in and just seeing all these monsters, just monsters, and older men, straight men, definitely intimidated me a little.
Now, I do ask this question. You said you're 18. I remember when I was 18, one of the things high on my list was always cars. Now, if you had the opportunity for the main event to drive your dream car to ringside to make your entrance, what would that dream car be?
Oh, gee, man, I know nothing about cars. I know nothing. It's that in technology for a kid my age. I'm not the brightest for it. To answer your question though, maybe like I could see myself coming out one of those like Undertaker, like American Badass choppers. That'd be pretty sweet. I think I could see that.
Nobody has said the bike yet. Nobody said the chopper yet. Congratulations, you broke a new ground. MaBo, come on board.
Now, exactly where did you receive your formal training from?
Battle Arts Academy. I'm still training there now, still a student there now. It's Mississauga, not a small town by the least, but a very unknown, unappreciated town, not on the map by any means necessary. It's just outside of Toronto. That's where Battle Arts is set up at.
Okay. Now, we have had a fellow Battle Arts competitor just on with us in one, Buck Gunderson. And I know that, you guys have probably, not really crossed paths just yet, at least in Excellence Professional Wrestling, but, you're in the upcoming title tournament at Excellence Professional Wrestling. He is in a fatal 4-way. He could potentially one day be, if you win the tournament, he could be potentially facing you one day. What are your thoughts on Buck Gunderson?
Definitely very dangerous man, very skilled man, a guy who, even though we don't see eye to eye, we don't look at life the same way, he's a man that I respect profusely, look up to a lot. He's been doing this a very, very long time, and he definitely knows a lot inside the ring, outside the ring, and the whole 9 yards in between. I mean, if I were to fight Buck Gunderson, though, at this day and age, I just think that my youth would give me the upper hand. I think Buck's getting a little bit older. I think he's starting to come down on his career, while me being 18, I got nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, he even called into question that if you even graduated high school, he claimed that you might even be 14 years old trying to pass for 18. I mean, I'm not one to stir the pot. I'm just reporting what I heard.
Oh yeah, no, that sounds like Buck, very, very much so, for sure.
Give us.
Speaking of the tournament, how does it feel? I mean, you're definitely by far the youngest in the tournament so far. It's Icarus has been announced, Hello Wicked's been announced. There's a few more names to be dropped here coming up, but by far you are definitely the youngest, and I would say, and don't take this the wrong way, the smallest, the lightest competitor. but it's also for a very prestigious title. How does that make you feel going into this tournament and this upcoming event?
Yeah, I think I think it definitely pushes me even harder. I try to keep that stuff is in the air. Obviously, what you're saying is absolutely true. I mean, I'm trying to keep it out of my head. I'm not trying to think about it as much. Definitely walking in there, being in a tournament, like you said, for such a prestigious championship in a company that I absolutely loved working for. It definitely motivates me. It definitely makes me wake up early and go to sleep late at night. And it's keeping me on my rocker all hours of the day, that's for sure.
Andy?
Pop quiz. Give us 5 words that describe you in the ring.
Oh, man. Unpredictable, charismatic, eager, professional, and captivating.
Where has been your favorite? Now, with all due respect, of course, I know we're really here to push the Sellersville event live coming up, but what has been your favorite places that you've been so far in wrestling?
I did a kaiju big battle. I did 2 of them, and just something about kaiju. It's so much fun, man, just to go out there and do these monsters, larger than life stuff on a professional wrestling on a whole other level. You know what I mean? It's a lot of fun working for those guys for sure.
Now, on the personal side of life, there has been always, and it's always been there, trust me, the correlation between all of us in the world of professional wrestling and either sci-fi or comic books, cartoons, especially comic books. For you personally, where's the crossover?
I grew up on Star Wars a lot. I wasn't a huge comic book sci-fi kind of guy, other than obviously for Star Wars. But yeah, that's the only connection I could see.
Now, one of the things that we're going to MaBo brought it up, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this one out to play. As of right now, it's 7:03 p.m. in the Central Time Zone. They have announced 2 matches so far: Hallowicked and Icarus in a quarterfinal match, Gran Akuma and Clutch Adams in a quarterfinal match. I understand the other 2 matches will be announced, and that leaves you, El Jefe, Havoc, and the Proletariat Bora Moldova yet to be announced. Now, based on what you know, personally, who would you rather, because you feel it would be an excellent match for the fan, and for Excellence Professional Wrestling, it's all about excellence, right? Always. Who do you feel that you would have the best first-round matchup against?
I mean, for the fans and for excellence, I know I've already wrestled El Jefe before. I've never been in the ring with the Bora Moldova, let alone wrestled him. So as a personal note, to be able to know that I knocked off the Bora Moldova, and I think for the fans, I'd like to go one-on-one with him.
Now, based on the other 2 matches that have already been announced, if you get past the first round, who would you like to see so far in the second round out of like I said, the Hallowicked Icarus matchup and the Gran Akuma Clutch Adams matchup? Who would you like to see in the second round?
I mean, Icarus, he's a great guy. I'd like to see him. He definitely deserves an opportunity. He's been doing this for much longer than I have. Oh man, El Jefe. He's a guy. I'm gonna go with El Jefe too. I'd love to see El Jefe do it.
MaBo.
Now, like you said, we spoke about how I personally first became aware of you in Excellence Professional Wrestling. We met briefly at Fandemonium. Also, we know Battle Arts. What are some of the other companies that have hosted you, and what are some of the companies that you think could benefit from having MC Hardbody on their roster?
Oh man, I mean, in the past I've done work. I like Danny Cage and the Monster Factory. I like what they do. I think that's really awesome. I did there was a 6-man tag match I did for a live event for OVW maybe a year or so ago in Indiana. Indiana, some small place in Indiana. Excellence Professional Wrestling. That's definitely one of the places that trusted me early on when, you know what I mean, nobody else would, you know. There's a company, CWF. It runs out of Canada, and they do a lot of winter tours and stuff like that. I'm going to be going to do one of those, my first one for them this winter, and they work a lot with native reserve areas and stuff like that, and the kids there, they do a lot of hands-on workshops and stuff, so that's definitely one that I would like to work for, and I think they would definitely benefit from having me, not just in the ring, but what I could bring to the kids and the families in the reserves.
Promoter calls you up.
No.
Okay. MaBo, go ahead.
I was going to say, now you mentioned the winter tours, and also known as we spoke with this to Buck about this, actually, also known as the lovingly referred to as the death tours. Is this going to be your first one?
Yes.
And what are some of the horror stories? Because I know everyone has one. What are some of the horror stories that you've heard that, and did it make you kind of, for a second, just think maybe not?
This one's going to sound silly, but it was one that definitely caught my eye. A buddy of mine, Tomer Shalom, a guy who's been wrestling in the Ontario indie scene for a long, long time. He was telling me that when they would go, it would be so far out of the way from everywhere that it would cost, like fast food restaurants like McDonald's, whatever, KFC, more money to transport all the meats and all the produce and all that stuff up there for the restaurants. And he said he went to a KFC location and he went to go buy just a 2-piece, whatever, you know what I mean, chicken and fries and all that. And he said it was like $15-$20 or something. And that alone, it caught me off guard a little.
Jeez.
And the party said French fries instead of mashed potatoes. That scares me even more.
Right.
What a horror. You can't do KFC without the mashed potatoes and brown gravy. Come on. It's like if you're... it's like
ours down here, we don't have the biscuits.
It's
what?
Wow. Say who?
Yes, I'm sorry.
MaBo, go up and make them biscuits, dude. I know you know how to cook.
Yes, thank you.
Oh my goodness! Are you
Thank you.
Wait. So you have a KFC without biscuits?
Yeah, our Popeyes, they do have biscuits. They got some good. They're cranking out good biscuits. But other than that, yeah, we're biscuitless down here in Canada.
Oh my God! I want to hug you and tell you that it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. Trust me. Come work the southeastern U.S. We'll take you. We'll find you some really good biscuits down here, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, we'll take you to Cracker Barrel, man.
Well, you could have said Waffle House.
I'm serious, man.
That's what's
Waffle House, Cracker Barrel. Any of you Canadian fellas? I don't know what company we could book you for. I don't know if we could even pay you, but at least we'll go out to eat the Cracker Barrel.
If there's biscuits on there, man, that's it. Have biscuits, we'll wrestle.
Oh, dude,
that's
they
it.
not only do biscuits, they do cornbread too.
Oh yeah, that I haven't experimented in too much either. So that'll be a whole eye-opening trip.
Yes,
for me down there.
Cornbread muffins. It's a southern delicacy that a lot of places have tried to steal, but they don't understand the concept that to properly do real cornbread, you have to have a cast iron skillet and keep it properly taken care of.
Exactly.
Same thing with southern fried chicken. Southern fried chicken is best done in a cast iron skillet, not in a stainless steel deep fryer.
Oh, goodness. We've got to get some of these Canadian guys down here so we can show them what good food is.
Now, the other, coming into it, coming back to you for a hot second. If you were not active full-time in pro wrestling, what sport would you be a part of and what position would you play? Or what positions have you played in that sport?
Yeah, probably hockey, just for the, grew up on it, right? It was something I loved. My family really, wasn't a wrestling family. I didn't grow up in a wrestling family. It was mostly hockey in this house, and when I was maybe 13, 14, that was when I said I played my last year of hockey, and then as a winger, and then that was it. I went into wrestling.
Favorite team?
Toronto Maple Leafs. Even if they're doing well, that's fine. If they're doing bad, that's fine. I'll always support them.
Least favorite team?
Montreal Canadiens.
I knew the Habs were going to be it.
Yeah.
Somehow
yeah, we're predictable.
Oh no, I live in the southeastern U.S. Trust me, we have the same about the Habs as well. But
perfect.
But it's like for me personally, of course, I'm 3 hours from Nashville, so therefore I'm a Preds fan. So
Yeah, that's cool. I always watch those games on TV. It looks like they have a fun atmosphere there with the live band and all that.
that is one of the things that I actually was going to ask you about, because I didn't know if a lot of the things that we did down here as far as the side attractions during the sporting events, like the like the Penguins games or the Preds games, if y'all actually did a lot of those up there, because the television viewership down here is kind of limited, so we don't get a chance to really take in everything that happens up there as far as hockey goes.
Right, yeah, we get everything down here. Like even if there's no Leafs game or something, you'll be sure to find some hockey on TV somewhere.
Cody. No, I'm kidding. There's always a channel that's got something on somewhere. You just got to cut the cable and find the right provider, and you're going to be able to find everything you're looking for. Now, the question I was going to ask you a minute ago, completely off the cuff, promoter gets in touch with you. It can be any promoter. Just don't even worry about adding a name or a company. But they say, I want to book you versus blank. And a smile, genuine smile, crosses your face, and the thought that goes through your head is, this is going to be a fun night. In a good way. Who would that match be against?
It's a good man, oh man. I'd go guy Yuki Ishikawa. He's the founder. He's the guy who started Battle Arts years ago in Japan. This guy's a straight killer. Did so many barbaric Japanese death matches back in that time when they were all just pushing, the extreme wrestling. And he's trained me. He's seen me since I was, a little high school boy. I'd love to wrestle him. Yeah, that's one guy I'd love to wrestle for sure.
How much of a headache do you have getting from where you live down to Sellersville?
Oh shoot, no, it's not bad at all. I mean, I come down there with Buck, so that's where the headache comes from. But as far as the ride itself, no, we're looking forward to it. We love going down there. It's a blast.
You're listening to Beyond Ringside Live on this Sunday, 3rd day of December 2017. Fast Study Layne, Mark MaBo Bowman, being joined by one of our new best friends, MC Hardbody. Going to be featured in the 8-Man Excellence Championship Tournament, December the 9th in Sellersville, Pennsylvania at the Forest Lodge, 2118 Old Bethlehem Pike. Tickets still very much available. Keep your eyes open on excellenceprofessionalwrestling.com as well as their social media sites. The event, of course, sponsored by Motivate Me Apparel and, almost got it all the way through. Motivate Me Apparel and Custom Printing. Looking forward, of course, this show for those in the area. It doesn't matter if it's 2 to 3 hours. Excellence always puts on great live events. Already announced in the first round, quarterfinal matchup, Hallowicked taking on Icarus, Grand Akuma taking on Clutch Adams. The other two quarterfinal matches are going to be announced very soon as of the broadcast of this event. Try it again, as of the broadcast of our show right now. So there are 4 people that are waiting to find out who they're going to be facing in that first round. Other names include, of course, our guest at this time, MC Hardbody, as well as Havoc, as well as El Jefe, and the Proletariat Boar of Moldova. MaBo, come on back in.
MC, Mr. Hard, Mr. Body, I'm not sure. Mr. MC Hardbody.
How's it going? Yes.
How's it going, man? Sorry, I'm over here still recovering from being sick last week, so I've been trying to stifle these coughs, and I've blacked out a couple times during this interview. So that's always fun. Trying to get the oxygen back in my brain. You know the other gentleman in the tournament. You've seen what they can do. What message do you have for your other potential opponents?
Just not to, don't sleep on me. Don't think that it's going to be an easy night. Don't think it's going to be a pass through into the semifinals. I got nothing to lose. A lot of these guys have been through wars. I'm relatively clean slate here, and I came up in this business the right way.
Eduardo?
Let me go ahead and ask. This is the pointed question that everybody's always afraid to hit. Whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Google+, Tout, Vine, Pinterest, doesn't matter. Everybody's got an account somewhere. Social media and pro wrestling. What is your favorite thing about it and your least favorite thing about it?
I think it helps definitely promote more shows. It definitely gets more eyes on shows. If you look back in, I guess, years and years and years ago, the only way you could promote the shows was either radio or flyers, you know what I mean, and word to mouth. But now you got Facebook, like you said, you got LinkedIn, whatever, Google+, everything. It's so much easier to get matches out there, and so much easier to get either your own product out there or, the company's product that you are also being featured in.
Speaking of products, do you have T-shirts out yet?
Yes, everything's coming. I'm in a tag team as well called Far From Over. It's just we run in the St. Catharines area a lot and in Ontario. But as far as MC Hardbody stuff goes, nothing independently, no.
That will change very soon, I hope.
Yes, yeah.
Now, let me go ahead and ask this one. Now, you were born where?
Mississauga, Ontario, Canada.
What is the number one myth about Canada and Canadians that you have been so happy to dispel to Americans?
I don't know. I think we are nice. I'm not gonna take that one away. I think that's a true accusation on us. I think we're very nice people. I don't think we say "a" as much as the world thinks we do.
Yeah, I think Bob and Doug McKenzie from the 1980s on Second City kind of blew that one out of proportion for everybody.
Right. They took it and ran with it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And not everybody sounds like Sarah Palin. Oh yeah. Which is actually more Swedish than anything else, but what the heck. But yeah, that's one of the things I've always found. It's like, I've never been there, so I don't know what the truth is, and all we see is what's on television. It's like, no, there's more to it than that. And that's why I will sit back and say, beer, priority 1, hockey, priority 2, lacrosse, not a player, but I'll watch, depending on whether or not it's on ESPN 1, 2, or 3. But in addition to Saturday, December the 9th in Sellersville, what else have you got coming up on the agenda?
I've got CWO, Championship Wrestling from Ontario, Fight Before Christmas. That's December 10th. I'm doing a 12-man gauntlet match against a guy by the name of Steve Brown. Big fella. The CWO Winter Death Tour, like I was telling you about, we leave January 28th. We're doing a lot of stuff up in Winnipeg, Manitoba, that region of Canada. I got a thing called Northern Region Wrestling Experience. That's December 23rd. That takes place in a small town called St. Catharines. Tickets for these, I should say, are pretty much come to the door to get them. And finally, Battle Arts Pro Wrestling, December 16th. That'll be held at the Don Kolov Arena.
What would it take? What moment is there that you already have in your brain that hasn't happened yet that will tell you, much less the rest of the wrestling world, that MC Hardbody has arrived?
One big night. I think that's all that I need is one big moment to happen that gets my name out there, gets people talking about me. And I think definitely 6 o'clock, Excellence Professional Wrestling. I think I'm going to do it.
We appreciate you taking the time to come on and let the truth be known. You are welcome to come back very soon.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick, MC Hardbody. Where can we find you? And maybe, I don't know if you hit on it or not. Any websites, any social media?
I thought I did. Sorry, my bad.
I mean, No worries. Yeah, just at Battle Arts PW, that you'll be able to find everything you need to know. It'll be on there.
What about you personally? Social media?
You can check me out. I have Facebook. Just add me out, Ryan Carrate, and you can get me there. I post everything, personal stuff and gimmick stuff. It'll be all out there, all the shows where you can find me, everything.
Sounds cool. Once again, definite pleasure. And ladies and gentlemen, one of our new best friends, MC Hardbody, has just gone beyond ringside. Hang with us. We're going to be back to put a wrap on everything right after. Let's do it the other way. Right after this on Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net. Howdy, friends. It's the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Layne with your invitation to join me, Mark MaBo Bowman, and Brooks Logan Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Find us on BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, and the Beyond Ringside Radio app for Amazon, Android, BlackBerry, and a whole lot more. Once again, that's Sundays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net. Home Run Round of Beyond Ringside Live on this Sunday night edition. If you are listening on the live side, it is 32 before the top of the hour. Forgot how to tell time. Okay, we'll try that one again. And it's 27 after the hour. 82 degrees here in the metropolitan area. 82 degrees between.
Sorry, big man. We're live. We have to keep going.
Live, got to keep going. Thank you very much.
Sorry, big man.
You can tell I don't do traditional radio anymore because I never do time and temp. That's all I can say. For my contemporaries that are still doing commercial radio, I am so sorry. I really am. Once again,
speaking of commercial radio,
yes,
I just kind of want to air this. A little non-related wrestling, but our fellow Beyond Ringsider, Wicked Nemesis, will know. Eddie, I'm sure you've heard one of the biggest stations probably out there in the world today, K-Rock, out of Los Angeles. This past Friday, might have been Thursday, I don't even know what day it is anymore, released actor and impressionist and voiceover artist, voice actor extraordinaire Ralph Garman. And I just want your opinion on this, kind of coming from the world of radio. Told him that that day would be his last day, and then told him that it was due to budgetary cutbacks.
He makes too much money.
He was not allowed to. Well, no, actually, he doesn't. But he was not allowed to say anything on air other than goodbye. That's a little dirty, if you ask me.
Yeah, there's more to it than that. When you're given constraints about how you can sign off. That normally means there's political BS running around behind the scenes, and somebody's trying to do something behind somebody's back. Normally, it's a case of if your contract.
Go ahead.
If I know my contract is on its last day and I haven't re-signed, the one thing that I know going into the open marketplace is I don't want to sound like an ass. I don't want to sound like a troublemaker, and I've done that before. My final day at a station, it's like when my deal was up, it's like, I just want to say I've had a great time here. The staff has been incredible. Front office has been cool to work for. Lie. And I wouldn't say the word lie, but it's like most people know. It's like he's as Wicked Nemesis would say, polishing a turd. But because I'm a straight shoot. In the world of radio, you've got two types of people: the ones who will stab you in the back, and the ones who haven't found a way to stab you in the back yet. I mean, and I'm going to get a lot of crap from my friends here in the metropolitan Birmingham area. People like Richard Dixon, Erica Wood, Hurricane Shane, longtime friends and colleagues. But by the same token, they also know I'm telling the truth because somebody's always gunning for what you got. It's like, I can do so much better doing afternoon drive. I can do better than them. It's like, okay, prove it. And then they turn around and suck. Go ahead.
Ralph had been with the Kevin and Bean show
on
K-Rock for nearly 20 years.
Yep.
For those who don't know Ralph, I mean, he does Hollywood Babylon with Kevin Smith, and that's how I discovered him. But apparently I didn't know that I knew who Ralph was until the Hollywood Babylon, because if you remember the old Spike TV show, the Joe Schmo show.
Yeah, the fake reality TV show.
Yeah, the fake real show. Ralph played the host on all three incarnations.
Right.
And he does several voices for Family Guy and American Dad, and he's actually been in a couple of Seth MacFarlane's movies. If you've ever seen Ted, he played Ted's father in the opening. If you've ever seen A Million Ways to Die in the Old West, he's one of the cowboys in this crowd that screams, "Let us see the dollar!" And he's also going to be on Seth MacFarlane's upcoming show. His character first appears, if it hasn't already appeared. I haven't had television in a couple weeks, so I don't know. But what is his show, that the Seth MacFarlane show that's kind of it's a Star Trek?
Yeah, the
semi spoof.
Orville.
Yeah, the Orville. He's going to be playing. He's going to be under heavy prosthetics. Obviously, he plays an alien. But he's going to be the bartender, and even though the episode hasn't even aired, when it got picked up for a second season, they have now bumped his character up to a reoccurring. So
good.
Who knows? Maybe this will be, because that spot had also been held by Adam Carolla,
right?
And I want to say maybe even Jimmy Kimmel.
Who? Don't say it. I know who he is. I know who he is.
No, but I'm saying it might not have been him. But it was definitely some notable names have also held that spot as well. So, I just think it just, I know this has really nothing to do with pro wrestling, but it just kind of, when I heard that, especially when I saw the time that Ralph had put in on K-Rock, I immediately went to the Hard Times promo. Now, I don't know I don't think Ralph's on complete Hard Times, but, when Dusty says, 20 years, and, they replace him with a machine, they give him a watch, and they kick him in the butt and say, thanks or whatever. It kind of made me think of Dusty's Hard Times promo to kind of, I guess, to bring back everything to pro wrestling. So it's just, hopefully though, these will not be hard times for Ralph, and, he lands on his
he'll
feet,
bounce back.
and
He'll
he's
bounce
able
back
to
quick.
Continue, huh?
He'll bounce back quick, dude. See.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And he's still able to take care of his wife and his little girl.
By the way, I hate to do this. We're going to segue back for a second because, of course, this episode of Beyond Ringside with our very special guest, Buck Gunderson, as well as MC Hardbody, brought to you in part by Excellence Professional Wrestling. Live event this coming Saturday night, December the 9th in Sellersville, Pennsylvania. We talked about the announced matches, but there's one that we missed, and I'm surprised especially you forgot it. I know you can't pull stuff up directly in front of you.
I didn't forget it because if I don't see it,
I can't
talk about it.
I was saying, I know you can't pull stuff up, but considering two of the people that are involved in this match, I figured you'd have that one committed to memory and burned into your imagination as in a very special pre-show tag team match.
Well, I was just going to say, just real quick, to be honest, Eddie, like, all I've seen so far, because, once again, being sick, I'm getting in and out of consciousness. And then when you're dealing with 14 guinea pigs, all I've seen was the announcement of Hella Wicked Icarus and the four-way that Buck Gunderson's going to be in, and of course the other participants. So I haven't really seen anything else. So please indulge and enlighten, good sir.
Not a problem, my good man, because they will be hosting a VIP pre-show this coming Saturday, December the 9th. And the match that will be on the pre-show is a tag team attraction match.
Please tell me the pre-show is called 559.
They didn't say that part.
Oh, I'm going to have to call Edgar and be like, hey, can you name the pre-show 559?
Hold on. Let me take care of it in a language Edgar can easily understand. Meow, man. A tag team exhibition match. Meow, man. Danger Jameson and John Moran taking on...
Oh, the man, Johnny Moran.
Taking on your favorite crustacean, the hermit crab, and Kobold.
You know what? I do remember seeing this. I didn't think it was a pre-show, though. I thought it was on the actual show.
According to the press release that was sent out by Excellence Professional Wrestling, this is actually going to be a VIP pre-show match.
Awesome. You know what? That just goes to show you that Excellence goes that extra mile for their dedicated fan base.
Excellent. I know the soundbite I need right now, and Edgar would kill me if I actually played it, if I had it on hand, because it'd be one of the classic Simpson episodes with Mr. Burns. Excellent. Like I said, he'd kill me.
But yeah, Danger Jameson there is suffering because at the last show, his Box O stunts was destroyed, Eddie.
Which sucks.
I know, because what is Danger Jameson without his stunts?
What's Danger without his box?
I don't know, man. But hopefully he can get back to the Super Dave Osborne School of Stunnery, and he can maybe obtain a new, more powerful Box O stunts.
That is conceivable. And if you're talking about Super Dave, that means somebody's going to end up in a body cast. But for our friends...
and
go ahead.
No, sorry, I hiccuped.
Oh. I figured he was interrupting. This time it was a legit hiccup. Go figure that one out, kids. I do want to shift over, and by the way, before I do want to say, and I'm sure that MaBo echoes my sentiment as well, to everybody involved on the Excellence Professional Wrestling live event. Kick ass, take names, have fun, and have a great show. Wish we could be there live, but the distance is a little bit too great. But Sellersville, Pennsylvania, beautiful little area, easy to get to, and for pro wrestling fans, if you're looking for a great show next Saturday night, December the 9th, Sellersville will be the place to be at Excellence Professional Wrestling. # 6 o'clock. Or 6 o'clock p.m., I think. Even though, see, I looked at the graphic, and the graphic actually had the AM lit up beside the 6 o'clock and not the PM. I can fix that if y'all want me to. I've got Photoshop. But speaking of upcoming events, one we want to take a quick look at, and I'm going to run this in at light speed. We are less than 2 weeks away, December the 15th. Friday, December the 15th, Ring of Honor Seminole Event Final Battle emanates from the Manhattan Center. The Hammerstein Ballroom, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the 15th of December. Fans around the world will be watching on pay-per-view on the Fight TV app, on ROHWrestling.com, and on the PlayStation Network. Wrestling's top stars clash, scores to be settled, and championships on the line in a special attraction match. Matt Taven takes on the aerial assassin Will Ospreay. MaBo, got any thoughts?
It's going to be flip, drop, and fine. ...
dive. It was supposed to be ... dive. I ain't letting that one go. To me, that's one of my top 10 of the calendar year 2017. ... dive. Leave it alone. Just run with it. The ROH 6-man tag team championships are on the line as the champions, Adam Page and the Young Bucks, take on Flip Gordon, Dragon Lee, and Titan. MaBo?
Flip, flop, flan.
Okay, I'll leave it alone. The ROH television title, a Four Corners elimination match. This is going to be a lot of fun, plain and simple. Like the other two weren't, they are, but this one's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Shane Taylor versus Silas Young versus Punishment Martinez versus the TV champion Kenny King. I see a title change in the very near future for the television title. Professional wrestling's last real man, Silas Young, is due a singles run. I like Kenny King as champion. I like the prospect of Silas Young becoming champion that much more, though. For the tag team titles, Beretta and Chucky T, known as the Best Friends, take on the champs, the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. MaBo, I know you got something on this one.
Well, I was going to say flip-flop line, but for those of you, and we'll talk about this also a little bit too. But first of all, for those of you who watch Being the Elite on YouTube, and Eddie, if you want to censor me, censor it later, but I'm gonna do it live. I'm just, I'm phrasing here.
Get to it.
Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta are dicks.
Oh, that'll go.
That's a reference to watching Being the Elite, which, by the way, a good friend of ours, Mike Posey, appearance number 2 on Being the Elite. Well, I don't know about the latest show that just dropped, Autograph, but the 2 shows preceding, Mike Posey has learned that Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor are dicks. So, but yeah, dude, I love Best Friends. I love the High Spots Network. Their show that they had was just, it's amazing. Anytime, I mean, Officer and a Gentleman, where it's Dan Barry and Chuck Taylor, is good. Developmentally speaking, usually hosted by Bull James, formerly Bull Dempsey, is usually good. But just the chemistry between Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta as the best friends, and in this show that they do, and their special guests and everything, and it's just a bunch of guys sitting down, shooting the poop and all that. So I do indeed love me some Best Friends, but I'm also, since their TNA days, from when they first formed, I am and always will be a dyed-in-the-wool Motor City Machine Guns guy. So this is a match that if I had a way to watch it, just that match alone, I would be all over it.
Dream match, non-title. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, the villain Marty Scurll, taking on Jay Lethal. Do not blink.
Ooh,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's flip-flop line.
Yeah, right. Now tell the truth.
But no, I mean, we all know what Jay Lethal could do. Marty Scurll really now coming, this last year or so, really, really coming into his own. I think, once again, I hate to keep bringing up Being the Elite, but it is such a really good YouTube show. And I do encourage you guys to check it out. It's definitely funny. It's, they don't take themselves seriously. But also hashtag FTRR. But as much as I find Marty to kind of on that show to being almost like the annoying little brother, I think that hooking up with Bullet Club, I think has definitely, to steal a phrase from Edge and Christian's podcast, definitely rocket strapped Marty Scurll and just taken him from being, a face to look out for to being a face to look out for. Because, you see this, he since really getting with the Bucks and being on Ring of Honor and, being part of Bullet Club, he did his first tour of Japan. He did the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tournament. He's their current champion, if I remember. You said he had the title. Mm-hmm. He's definitely stepped up his game from his days as Party Marty on TNA Boot Camp.
Thank you.
So, and then being in the ring with, and I never thought I'd say these words because it seems so far fetched, but being in the ring with a veteran, the caliber of Jay Lethal. Like I said, I remember the days when he broke into Ring of Honor. I think when he was Hydro, when he was part of that little rave group that was running around. Their names escape me right now, but they were like rich kids who were doing the party drugs and everything. That was their whole shtick and their whole stable. And like I said, I think he was Hydro. But then he broke away on his, got on his own, became Jay Lethal, and then eventually rolled into TNA, had a stellar career there. Stepped up to the main event level where he was, in programs with Ric Flair, Hall of Fame Ric Flair, 2-time Hall of Famer Ric Flair. to coming back to Ring of Honor, winning the heavyweight title there. I mean, it's just really odd to sit there and hear the words veteran Jay Lethal, come out of my mouth, especially after almost seeing him from day one. I read about him when he was, in the. I wish I could remember the name of the group, but yeah, from reading about his early days in Ring of Honor to his transformation into Jay Lethal, and then where he is now, it's just, you couldn't ask. But you know what though, you couldn't ask for a better person. I'm going to be honest with you. Just a better person to be matched up against in anywheres. So that's going to be an amazing match.
And in the main event for the ROH World Championship, if he is still champion by the 15th, the American Nightmare Cody, one-on-one with Dalton Castle. MaBo?
Flip-flop-fly. No, as much as I think it's great to see what, Cody Rhodes, Cody Runnels, whatever you want to call him, just Cody, see what he's done since stepping away from the WWE and showing that you can leave, not be future endeavored or what have you, that you can make your own choice to leave arguably the largest company in the world, to show that you can do that and go, no, you know what, you want to take my last name from me, the last name my father built, you want to do that, fine, I'm going to show you that I don't need any trace of what you have. And he did it. I mean, once again, linked up to one of the hottest groups going in Bullet Club, striking out on his own, having, if you guys remember about a year or so ago, he had his own quote unquote bucket list, and on there was like, he wanted to wrestle this guy, he wanted to wrestle this guy, wanted to wrestle in PWG. He did that. Wanted to wrestle in Ring of Honor. He's done that. He's won their heavyweight title. He is wrestled in Japan. Wrestles for New Japan. One of the. It's kind of weird to say up and coming for New Japan, but New Japan's been around for decades.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, New Japan is really starting to become on the almost mainstream here in the United States. Now, people who have followed independent wrestling and international wrestling for years, they're like, yeah, New Japan, we know about that. But, for now the mainstream, which, and I will say this, in part to Bullet Club. I mean, your shirts don't end up in Hot Topic for no reason. But and not just this current incarnation of Bullet Club, the Bucks and Cody and Adam Page, Marty Scurll, Tama Tonga, Fale, those guys. I'm talking about your Gallows, your Andersons, your Finn Fergal, Devitt Ballers, your AJs, those guys. They're the ones that laid the groundwork for Bullet Club to what it has become today, which is to me has helped bring New Japan to the American forefront, to where not just your followers of international and independent wrestling know, but your WWF regulars. I don't want to say MTFers because, well, technically I guess it is, but there's nothing on Friday anymore. Anyway, but your average American wrestling fan who really only knows WWE and maybe NXT or whatever, now they know about New Japan, and and it's all all that has come this big melange, this big stew of also what's helped make Cody prove that you don't need the WWE, and for him to be taking on someone who I think the most entertaining guy to me, or one of the most entertaining guys up there in pro wrestling today, in Dalton Castle. Now, of course, I was first introduced to Dalton Castle when he was Ashley Remington in Chikara. Ashley Remington definitely the opposite of what Dalton Castle that we know today is, but still both very entertaining. But yes, I mean, just whether he's Ashley Remington, whether he's Dalton Castle, the guy is amazing. He is an amazing professional wrestler. I think he has some dabblings and or what have you in amateur wrestling as well. But he's just one of those guys that you look at him and go, what's stopping? And it's not saying Ring of Honor is not a major company, because they are. They've definitely, since definitely linking up with Sinclair, have become a major company, and definitely a major player. But I'm going to go ahead and say, what's stopping the WWE from snatching this guy up? Signing him to either straight to the roster or run him through NXT. I kind of know the answer because I've heard in a past interview. But, things might have changed because, the interview's about a year too old. But this guy's just amazing. And do I think he'll take the belt from Cody? It's hard to say. I mean, there's some people you could, plug into the match and go, oh, okay, well, for a fact Cody's going to win or what have you. But I think this is going to be one of those that the fans are going to be sitting there just, it's the old monster truck radio advertisement. You're going to pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. I think that's going to be true in the Dalton Castle Cody Rhodes match.
I agree wholeheartedly. This is one match that I'm genuinely looking forward to and have been for a while, because when you've got two top tier talents like Cody and Castle, cough button works. Yours does too when you give me advance notice and we're not in the middle of an interview. Sorry about that.
And I have a good signal, and I'm not afraid to drop the phone.
There you go.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, as far as it goes between Cody and Castle, which actually just sounds like a really good 80s detective series on probably ABC or CBS. NBC never has crap.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. But these two, I smell the fact that they're going to have an automatic chemistry in the ring. And they are probably going to put on a match of the year candidate quite easily. Coming out of last week's Peach State Wrestling Alliance live event, I made the comment that there were two matches on that card that I genuinely felt were Georgia MOTY candidates. One was the AJ Steele Logan Creed street fight, which was phenomenal. The other was the Fatal 4-Way for the PWA Heritage title. Austin Theory, if you have not seen him live, oh my God, you need to catch this guy. He not only lives up to the billing, he blows it out of the water. Then you add Sal Renaro and the other participants who were in that match. I mean, it's like, look, Kevin Blue, phenomenal in-ring talent. Sal Renaro, phenomenal in-ring talent. And just everybody that was in that Fatal 4-Way, the chemistry was right. I mean, the reflection of perfection, Tyson Dean. I'm doing this without notes, and my memory is shot to crap, okay? When you have a match that makes you just sit back and go, at the end of it, damn. Or, restart, give me 5 more minutes of this, please. I have a feeling that's what we're going to face with Cody and Castle. Regardless of the outcome, I personally feel that Dalton Castle has done everything in the realm of reasonality. New word, I made it up. To become the ROH champion. This guy's money. Just like Cody. Cody is money. Now, the cash is in the chase. We all understand this. But there's times when with Ring of Honor, you can't always get the chase. You can only get the capture or the escape. Can they use this to build up to an even bigger match between Cody and Castle? At Final Battle, it really doesn't get any bigger than that. That is why I'm just going to go ahead and say on December the 15th at the Hammerstein Ballroom, we will have a new Ring of Honor heavyweight champion, and his name will be Dalton Castle. I just think the stars have lined up for Dalton Castle, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this match. Wish I could be there live, but
party peacock.
Yeah, there you go. Wish I could be there live, but unfortunately, I will watch pay-per-view right alongside everybody else. When it comes to a good show, I have no problem spending money, and Ring of Honor puts out traditionally good live events on pay-per-view. Speaking of live events coming up in the near future, MaBo, I know that you've got a short road trip to make, about 5 minutes down the road for you. On December the 9th, you're going to be with Zero Alliance Wrestling.
Yeah, a little bit more than 5 minutes. About a good 10-minute drive. Depends on if I stop and get smoked wings from Good Old Boys. But, yeah, it's about 10 minutes, 10-minute drive, Zero Alliance Wrestling. This coming Saturday night, we will see Wicked Nemesis teaming with Charles Anders to take on the Violent Gentleman in a street fight. I can tell you right now, I love Wicked. It's my brother. But I think he might have bitten off a little more than he can chew, because the Violent Gentlemen have been wanting to get their hands on him for some time now.
About a year at least.
At one point he had them under his managerial umbrella, and cut ties with him. And I can tell you right now, these gentlemen, Mr. Morgan and Mr. Andrews, they're coming. They're coming for blood, and you can have a Charles Anders all you want with his fresh new haircut, but I can tell you right now, Wicked's going to have to pull everything, including his Red Lantern ring, out of his back pocket to take out the Violent Gentleman.
I think it's going to be a great time Saturday night, Pell City, Alabama, on Stimley Bridge Road at the Pell City Civic Center. Zero Alliance Wrestling, really looking forward to it. Maybe a surprise or two coming up next Saturday night. You never know, because, by the way, for those of us inside the metropolitan area of Birmingham, Alabama, Good People Brewing Company is going to be the place to be on 14th Street. Looking forward to an afternoon live event. RIW Wrestling at Good People. Got some new faces, got some familiar faces. So you've got a double shot. Normally it's the wrestlers who double shot. This time the fans can double shot. And here's the fun part. The Good People Brewing Show is sponsored courtesy of El Gordo beer. Yes, looking forward to this because the fat man gets to drink El Gordo. I am so happy. So I'm really, like I said, it's going to be a great afternoon. I believe 2 o'clock start time at Good People in Birmingham. And when things wrap up around 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock at Good People, you are definitely going to have time to make it out to Pell City. It's only about 40 minutes from Good People. And
yeah, it's really, I make the drive every day. Like I said, I stay about 10 minutes from the Pell City Civic Center. My job is maybe a 10-minute drive from Good People Brewing. It's right on the other side of the baseball stadium.
Yep.
Good People Brewing is. So, like I said, it's about a 40 to 45-minute drive, depending on traffic, for myself. And, of course, that's on weekday morning. So, Saturday afternoon, traffic will probably be light. So, hit up Good People, catch the show, say hi to Eddie, buy him a couple drinks.
Yay!
And
then make the short drive out to, and then make the, and then I was going to handle the second half of this. And then make the short drive to Pell City, Alabama for Zero Alliance Wrestling at 7:30 p.m. and definitely say hi to MaBo.
Well, I don't know if you'd want to say hi to MaBo because he's probably going to be sweaty and nervous and probably going to puke like he normally does.
Dude, you're going to be fine. I've said this behind the,
hopefully-
look, ding dong. I have all the faith in the world in you, and from what everybody has told me from your previous appearances, from Excellence Professional Wrestling to Zero Alliance to a couple other companies, dude, you're kicking ass, you're taking names, and I am so very proud of you.
That's only because I'm ripped up on energy drinks.
Okay, O'Hagan.
But yeah, like I said, in between, if I might make a dining choice, because if MaBo puts a seal of approval on the food, it's got to be good. Once again, I've mentioned it before. Good Old Boys, they have wonderful smoked wings, also wonderful, ribs and whatnot. Or, believe it or not, are you ready for this, Eddie?
Yep.
Ready for this? Gas station, a little bit further down Stimley Bridge Road, right where at the four corners where Stimley Bridge meets Stimley.
Right.
There's a gas station. It's a Chevron. People have told me, they're like, "Oh, if you're going to be living out this way, you should stop in there because we know you like cheesesteaks, and I do love cheesesteaks."
Oh, they do a Philly?
They have it. Oh, they do a Philly, and I kept saying, it's a gas station. What are they going to do? But they have a grill. They have everything in there. They do burgers, dogs. They're called tater babies, which are basically potato wedges. They do smoked wings. They do all smoked and buffalo. But I was like, you know what? Let me try one of your Philly cheesesteaks. I said, what's on it? And they said, because some people disgusting. They put mayonnaise on it. Gross, ew.
No.
But they're like, basically your chopped steak. You get your peppers, your onions. And I was like, okay. And they go, we put Swiss cheese on ours. And I was like,
yeah,
huh? Because I usually for me a Philly is either provolone, or you do the OG, the original way. You put Cheese Whiz on it. That's the original Philly cheesesteak.
I know.
Cheese Whiz, and I had one when I was in Philadelphia. They put Cheese Whiz on it. It was pretty good. So I said, let me try this. Eddie, I can't say nothing bad about it.
Well, there's nothing wrong with Swiss cheese to begin with. It's normally good on a lot of things.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, ham and Swiss, any of that. But I just a Swiss on a Philly, like I said, it's usually provolone or it's Cheese Whiz.
And
it's like I was a little taken aback by the concept of it, but I went ahead anyway, tried it, and I tell you right now, if you want to drive a little bit further down past past Good Old Boys, past the Shack, which I've heard's got pretty good barbecue, to the little gas station. It's a Chevron. It's right there at Four Corners, right across from the Dollar General. Go in there, get you a Philly cheesesteak. Go for the footlong. Don't skimp. Don't be afraid just because it's got Swiss.
It's not Subway. Go for the footlong.
Exactly. It's actually a true 12-inch sandwich.
Are we using this for your last call, by the way?
What?
Are we using this for your last call?
Yes, we're going to use this for last call because we got to go.
Yeah, 4 minutes late.
But you know what? Hit the Shack, hit Good Old Boys, go down to the Chevron, grab you that Philly, and then head back to Pell City Civic Center and hit Zero Alliance Wrestling that night.
And then after
that, remember, if you're going to go to Good Old Boys and enjoy the show, drink responsibly.
And then immediately after the show, I know some people are going to be headed for a nice little place called Killin' Time. Right on the main drag, leaving the Pell City Civic Center, headed back I think it's on 231. If you're leaving the Civic Center, on the right-hand side of 231 as it's getting ready to go into downtown Pell City. A longtime friend of mine, Eric, runs the karaoke out there on Saturday nights. And, you never know who's going to pop in on a Saturday night at Killin' Time in Pell City. Word. MaBo, shameless plugs. And we already did one.
Yeah. No, those are all my plugs. Like I said, we've been pushing all night long, and cough button. Even if even without prompting, I'm not even going to say prompting. I would encourage you guys, go out to, if you're in the area in Sellersville, go to Excellence Professional Wrestling. Check out 6 o'clock. Trust me, it's going to be an amazing show. Do the pre-show. Treat yourself. Do the pre-show. It's maybe, I think, about a 20-minute drive or so from Philadelphia. It's not too far from Philadelphia, and then that in the area. Easton, Lehigh Valley, all that. Go to Sellersville. Check out Excellence Professional Wrestling. You won't be disappointed. ZAW. What'd you say? What's the company? RIW?
Yeah.
What'd you say? Good people?
Yes, RIW.
There's RIW. I'm getting a little tickle in my throat again. There's companies. Cough button. Anywhere.
You're supposed to say cough button before you cough.
Well, when you can't breathe, it's kind of hard. But yes, check out everyone. Everybody's got great shows going on this time of year. A lot of companies getting ready to go on a little bit of a break, especially the northeastern companies, because it's. I know Chikara just had their season finale.
Yep.
A lot of questions just been brought up. We'll touch on that later. But go out there, find your local professional wrestling. Don't have to wait for the WWE to come to town, or even NXT. If NXT does come to your town, I do encourage you to go see it, especially if it's coming to Birmingham here in recent, I'd say December 12th maybe, and you want to get any tickets. Once again, if you want to send us, that's okay. We can do that. But other than that, Fascinating Layne, last call and take us home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for a last call real quick, and I'll make this 90 seconds or less, and if you believe that, I've got oceanfront property in Omaha, Nebraska. Give me 10 years, it'll happen. Number one, congratulations to the University of Alabama Crimson Tide football team for making the Final Four in the college football playoffs, being matched up along the number 1 seed Clemson Tiger, number 2 seed Oklahoma Sooner, number 3 seed Georgia Bulldogs. Alabama coming in at number 4, hop, skip, and jumping over the Big Ten champion Ohio State Buckeyes. I refuse to put the word "the" in front of that. I'm sorry. I don't even put "the" in front of Alabama Crimson Tide. Trust me, I don't. And, of course, there's virtually no love for the Pac-12 champion USC Trojans. Sorry, guys. Strength of schedule, bad losses. They hurt everybody. But by the same token, I'm going to go ahead and diffuse this one right now. Do I feel that Alabama deserves to be in the Final Four? No, I don't. Do I feel that am I appreciative of the fact that they have been voted in? Yes. But do I feel they deserve it? No. Do I feel that they're a better team than Ohio State? Yes. Alabama ended up the regular season with an 11-1 record. That one loss was to a top 10 ranked Auburn team, or a top ranked Auburn team. I don't feel that Clemson should be as ranked as high as they are currently because of the Syracuse loss. I believe that there are some major dotted I's and crossed T's that need to be done as far as the college football playoff system goes. Do I feel that expanding to 8 teams is the answer? Short term, yes. I think they should have started with 8 teams. You're adding 1 more game and 4 more schools. So, do I think it's going to be the ultimate answer to everything? No, because look at what's happened with the NCAA men's basketball tournament. It's supposed to be, it was 64, then it went from 32 to 64, then to 68 with an additional play-in game. Stop the insanity. And also, speaking of insanity, the bowl system for college football is stupid. It's just out and out idiocy. A bowl should not feature mediocrity. This is supposed to be a reward for a good job done. 6-6 is not a good job. That's batting .500. Now, in Major League Baseball, you're a Hall of Famer if you bat .500. For your team to have a .500 record, that's not excellence. That's so-so. That's mediocrity. That's average. The minimum requirement for a college bowl game should be 7-5. 7 wins. Over .500. Plain and simple. I don't care if you played Mercer. I don't care if you played Oklahoma. I don't care if you played Georgia, Georgia State, Georgia Tech, Georgia Southern, or the Georgia Institute for the Blind. We need to absolutely stop rewarding mediocrity. Plain and simple. Prove you're the best.
Well, then obviously you don't know the society we live in these days.
Oh, yeah, I do. Hey, let's have a participation trophy and a little blue ribbon to give everybody. Screw that crap.
Yep. Because we don't want little Billy and little Sally to be upset because they came in second place.
Guess what? If you're not first, you're the first loser. So go away. Plain and simple. I'm heartless when it comes to that.
If you want to flip it to Talladega Nights, if you're not first, you're last.
Thank you. Or as Kevin Nash told Conan to fire back during a promo, hey, I can't say it. So, you're tired of not being the lead dog. How's the view back there? I know that's not exactly what Kevin Nash says, but I think everybody got the basic gist of it. At least I hope you did. If not, go back and look it up. Wolfpack, damn straight. And then some. I ain't Click. I'm Wolfpack. Folks, at Beyond Ringside on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live. BeyondRingside.com is home, and of course, ProWrestlingRadio.net. Want to remind everybody you can find the Beyond Ringside Ustream channel, as well as the Beyond Ringside channel on TuneIn Radio and mobile app. From that vantage point, let's see. I want to give a very special thank you to everybody who came out this past Friday at Buffalo Wild Wings Alabaster. Friday night karaoke at B-Dubs is always a great time. Midnight Black Mass will not air tomorrow night. That's December the 4th, because I'll be the MC for a very special charity event for Wings of Hope, and I'm very appreciative for the opportunity. Thank you for having me back for a 4th consecutive year, and it means more than you know. For my website, faststudylayne.com, I am trying to find 5 minutes to update crap. Like I said, had a blast last weekend with Peach State Wrestling Alliance. A couple of weeks before that with the Scenic City group. Back with Scenic City on February the 10th in 2018. Peach State returns in 2018. I'm looking forward to the Good People Brewing Company show. Like I said, 2 o'clock, Birmingham, Good People Brewing Company with RIW. And who knows, may just pop out to Pell City and hang out with MaBo at Zero Alliance Wrestling, 7:30 p.m. in Pell City at the Civic Center. Folks, special thank you to Excellence Professional Wrestling up in Sellersville. Best of luck, kick-ass next weekend. Thank you, Edgar and company, for sending MC Hardbody. I'm sorry, I was stuttering because I was checking the music rotator. For sending MC Hardbody and Buck Gunderson our way. Buck, MC, a pleasure to speak with both of y'all and look forward to having you back on soon. Thanks for hanging out. We hope you enjoyed the ride. For Mark MaBo Bowman.
Yeah, like I need you showing up at GAW to make me more nervous.
I got $10. I'll pay it at the door. Even though 90% of the roster said you're not paying, I'm not booked. I have no problem paying to get in the door. I'm going to be the one at all the way at the other end of the Pell City Civic Center holding up a big sign going, "We love you, MaBo."
And I will throw the microphone at you.
It's not your mic. You better not. I know who owns it. He'll kill you.
Oh, if it hits you in the square in the face, I think he'll be okay.
Hashtag blame Layne. Hashtag lost cause.
Hashtag let's go, because I'm about to have another coughing fit. I might pass out.
I am the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Study Layne, saying until next time, join us right here as we go Beyond Ringside. This has been Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net. Bye for now.